they would rip through some hotel rooms. I think even it resulted in them getting arrested in Canada once. But
we didn't destroy our hotel room in Canada.
no, we did not.
You did get chocolate on the sheet though, and I thought
is that accident? Accident?
Well, whoever cleaned that up was probably like, God, I hope this is chocolate.
It was.
Don't yell in the microphone like that.
It was. I swear. Hey, howdy, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Mike's Monday Jams, the official podcast for music appreciators everywhere. Today we're going to be talking about the song Eminence Front by the band The Who. Let's get it.
It's an eminent front. It's an eminent front. So put on. An eminent front. Eminent front. Put on. Eminent front.
Well, it's Monday, June 23rd. We've got a set switch up.
Yep.
We're chilling on the couch today.
We sure are. We're here on the couch.
Couple reasons. One, the AC is out in the building.
Lovely.
And right in time for the excessive heat warning.
Yeah.
But we have these like window AC units, and they're kind of in the way of the old set, or
Yeah.
D set.
Yeah.
And
Be a little difficult.
we'd have to turn them off to,
Completely off.
and we're not doing that. We
No.
can't. They only work so well to begin with,
Yeah, I don't want to screw it up.
and to sacrifice an hour of time to not have them be on.
Yeah.
And I know to deliver, the world's best podcast, it'd probably be worth it. But
You can see it from the couch.
Exactly. We're chilling on the couch. We're seeing how this works as well. So reason number 2, see if the couch works. Of our obviously handheld mics as well.
They are not supposed to be handheld. They are heavy. I fear I am already like it is so heavy.
It's a workout. I guess Emma's going to start kicking me under the table here to speed along the information.
But maybe if y'all like this, if we like it, maybe we could acquire some handheld mics and we could do episodes on the couch that are with microphones that are designed to be held by your hand, unlike the ones that we have.
Yes. And that's not a slight to the microphones. They're great microphones.
No, yeah, it's a slight to my strength.
But again, EC and MC on the track is June 23rd. Some things that I've noticed in the last week or so, some change. The band Goose has extended or announced their fall tour set of dates or whatever, but something that I noticed that was fun about it, they're doing student tickets, which is pretty cool, and something I haven't seen before, unless it's like a homecoming event on campus somewhere, or but you have to go to the venue and show proof of, like, you got to go during box office hours, which makes sense. But I haven't seen anybody do that before, so that's pretty cool.
That's cute.
So they're doing that at some select shows, which I thought was noteworthy, and if other folks would like to take after, that seems like a pretty successful little bit there. I don't know how much the discount is. Haven't looked that far into it, but
okay.
I think that's also a great way to guarantee, like, some people some tickets. If you've got a pretty poppin' date that's probably going to sell out pretty quickly, it's like, well, the venue's reserved however many for the students in the area too. So because you got to go in person. Our favorite, the Band Camino, has finally announced a new album.
Woo!
I guess this is their third full-length album. Never Always, I believe it comes out July 25th. Shout out to them. They've heeded our complaints or our observations of artists announcing new music and taking way too damn long to release it.
I love this. Announce it a month before.
It is June 21st. It's basically a month.
I do feel like sometimes, and I see this a lot, this is a little bit different, but I see this a lot with my YouTube people releasing stuff. They'll announce things and they're like, yeah, and it's live now to go buy it.
Oh, like now.
Yeah, and it's
Instantaneous.
like okay, I don't love that either. Like I want some time to be excited about something. So this is a good solid amount of time.
A little balance. But no, a month I feel like is perfect time.
Yeah.
So we'll see. They've released 4 singles from it so far, and each of them is pretty decent.
Yeah.
So.
They're doing a good job. We're proud of you boys.
We missed the Dierks new album. I knew he was making one. I didn't know when it was coming out.
I didn't know
though.
it came out so soon.
Yes. So opposite effect of
Yeah.
what we just said. And maybe that's why artists spend so much time announcing stuff. But Broken Branches, I believe it came out on the 13th of June. So shout out to Dierks. He's got a song with Miranda on it. You should check that one out.
Oh, I should. I love Dierks. I love Dierks.
So shout out to Broken Branches and Dierks Bentley. You've got a new Power Hour. Would you like to spill your beans?
Power Hour release alert, you guys. Pop Rock's Power Hour. Coming on the tails of our Two Princess episode last week. Believe me, Two Princesses in the Power Hour. It's perhaps my best work. Maybe next to the country drinking one because obviously that's what I'm, most versed in. But Pop Rocks is probably my second, most knowledgeable genre personally. So it rocks. It's awesome.
It pops. It rocks.
It rocks. It pops, locks, polka dots it. Hoedown, throwdown's not in it. That was in my Radio Disney Power Hour, though. So, new release. Go check it out. You could listen to it at the gym. If you don't want to drink to it. Like, plenty of them I've listened to just doing other things. Because it's kind of like, you're not going to get sick of any of the songs. You only listen to them for a minute.
A little taste of everything.
Yeah. It's a flight of Pop Rocks. It's an hour-long flight of Pop Rocks music.
You and your flights.
I love flights. I want to go to a restaurant and order just like a small of everything.
I'll take one of everything. One of everything, please.
And I'll have like 4 bites of each.
By one of everything, I want a bite of everything. So yeah, go check that out. And I mean, if it's any testament, this is probably the most fun I've seen you with a Power Hour, but you were turning up the music to listen to it by yourself. I was even like doing other things in the other room, and I could hear you turn it up and sing along.
Oh, well, I've
with
done that
stuff,
before. You just haven't been at the house.
Well, yes, but testament to how much fun you had, I guess.
I was having a lot of fun making it. I told myself I was going to make half of it and then do something else to come back to, and I was like, I can't. I have to finish it.
I recently made a realization that I have more faith in people's relative pitch than originally thought. Come with me on this journey. So I recently just finished a cruise, a bachelor trip cruise that was incredibly fun. Shouts out to Tommy, the groom. And one of the stops was in the Bahamas, and at a chain of fun bar grill restaurants called Senior Frogs. They have a location in Nassau, and they had a DJ. DJ was playing all your classic bangers, millennial roller skating music, Pitbull,
Awesome.
the likes, the works. But he was playing everything just either a little sped up or just like a little sped up, so it was making it appear.
It was pitched up as well.
Yes, so it was like almost basically a full step up. And there'd be moments, where it's like popular point in the song, like in the chorus, and he'd like cut it so everybody could sing. And people were singing with the pitch, which of course isn't the original recording pitch. And people were in pitch, and I was surprised because you would think, especially with some of these songs you've known for so many years, your brain would resort to. But I guess if it's already putting you in that key,
I think it would be way harder to sing it the original way if you're listening to the song a different way.
I guess that's fair. But either way,
when you listen to the Chipmunks sing a song, and if the Chipmunks were like, now your turn, you would probably sing in the Chipmunks pitch. Not in the original song.
I suppose.
Do you remember Coast to Coast by the Chipmunks?
No.
Oh, that song slaps. And of course, The Witch Doctor, and we all know that one.
Yes. And Christmas time is here.
Oh well, I'm talking about the New Age Chipmunks.
I want a hula hoop, damn it.
I mean, that is one of my favorite Christmas songs.
Yeah, either way, I had more faith in people's relative pitch than thought, because I don't know. I just think most people are musically not inclined. I don't know.
I think, like I said, I think it would be harder and more musically inclined to sing it the original way, to like make the thought process in your head that this is not the original song. I think most people who are not musically inclined probably would not even notice it was sped up.
That's fair. So maybe I have less faith than originally
I think
thought.
so.
Either way, it was interesting food for thought. Last piece of news, which has inspired today's episode, is that, and we missed it when it originally happened because we were recording a little back-to-back and, things were a little all over the place. But today's artist, The Who, has officially announced their farewell tour. Labeling it as the song is over. They're doing their last run of American dates in the fall. The song is over is obviously a ode to one of their songs on the album Who's Next, but they're done. It's probably for the best. They're pretty old.
Oh.
Roger Daltrey's nearing 802, and Pete Townshend's nearing 907.
Did my family recently see The Who, and like whoever opened for them was like the worst opening act they've ever seen in their lives?
They did recently see The Who. I don't know about the opener. I don't remember
I'll have
that.
to page in my family here. I think that I'm telling the truth.
But either way, they're donezo. So we're doing a little ode to them, and specifically, we're doing an ode to their original farewell tour, which was in 1982. At the time of today's album, It's Hard came out just after it came out.
What is it?
What?
What's hard?
It? Just life? I don't know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so we need to do some British artists anyway. We're about to take a John across the pond. And so this is a good little start of a mini series here of some British folks. And so why not start with one of the most influential rock bands of all time and pay a little homage to their upcoming farewell tour. But they were originally formed in a London neighborhood called Acton. Three of them went to school together. That's John Entwistle, Roger Daltrey, and Pete Townsend. They didn't meet Keith Moon until some years later, but they were many different outfits for a while, and they played a lot of like jazz covers, which I think is very interesting.
They like jazz.
They liked jazz.
You like jazz?
And so this was a lot of the early 60s, playing the bar scenes in London and whatnot. But they didn't meet Keith until like 64.
Is Moon his real last name?
I think so.
That just doesn't sound real, man.
Either way, that it's one of the sickest names of all time. Born Keith John Moon. Yes. Wow. Also a similar birthday to you, August 23rd.
Well, that's Ai's birthday.
Oh, there we go. Shouts out.
If it's a birthday in August, somebody related to me probably was born on that day.
Very true. But when the four of them became The Who, because originally they were the Detours.
The where, the when,
the how,
and the why.
And then they became The Who. That was good. I get that one.
Thank you.
I got that one. That one got me.
you.
That was good. But they gained a lot of attention through early singles. Some you have definitely heard before.
Best song ever.
It's more thinking like My Generation, you know.
Okay.
Can't Explain, some others. So they gained a lot of attention through those early singles. They were big on destroying stuff on stage. One time, Pete accidentally broke the head of his guitar. It sat on a really low ceiling. I'm like, how low was the ceiling?
Good
Or maybe it was
Lord.
just like already pretty low, and they had to put the stage up and then just whacked it. But he broke the guitar nonetheless, and everybody started laughing, and it made him mad. So he destroyed the guitar, and then Keith Moon chimed in and destroyed the drums too.
I'd like to see a financial count on that.
Yes.
How much money in their career did they... I don't know if waste is the right word because it is part of their brand.
Yes.
But spend, perhaps irresponsibly, by destroying stuff.
And that includes hotel rooms. They were big
Oh.
on destroying hotel rooms.
That's not nice.
It's not. But being
Destroy all the Airbnbs you want, though. I think that that's fine. I think that the fact that you have to pay, on average, like $200 for a cleaning fee, that doubles the price of wherever you're staying. Yeah.
take this for your cleaning fee.
Yeah, if you have to pay a cleaning fee, I don't think Airbnbs that make you take out the trash. It's like, what the hell?
Put the towels in the washer and start it. What the hell? You want me to wait to move it to the
I
dryer
really-
too?
Airbnb hosts are on my shit list of just people I think you should disrespect.
They at the top of that list?
They are up there. There's
Most people are like slow walkers.
Ooh, well, sometimes I am a slow walker, but it's a physical disadvantage I have.
But no, Emma's
I mean,
Airbnb host,
I have been
number one.
crossed by how many 4 or 5 Airbnb hosts.
too many. The answer is too
And
many.
I would say at least 70% of the time I've stayed at Airbnb in my life, something has gone wrong, and it has been the host's fault. So, yeah,
the answer
they're not doing well with me.
is too many.
Truly.
But yeah, no, they would rip through some hotel rooms. I think even it resulted in them getting arrested in
That's rough.
Canada once. But
We didn't destroy our hotel room in Canada.
no, we did not.
You did get chocolate on the sheet, though, and I thought
Is
it
that
was-
accident? Accident?
Well, whoever cleaned that up was probably like, God, I hope this is chocolate.
It was.
Don't yell in the
It
microphone
was.
like that.
It was. I swear. Yeah, the damages resulting in like 25 grand to some hotel rooms, like literally
Good Lord.
TNT in the toilet type thing. A whole new definition to blowing up toilets.
I was about to say, it sounds like more like my dad in a hotel room. Cannot convince that man to go to the lobby.
But who quickly became the band that all other bands were like judged against. Playing really, really large festivals. Like they were at Woodstock. They did a bunch of others back across the pond that 600, 700,000 people attended. And as you like read about them, and some of those like festivals in the like early 70s, late 60s, like they weren't going on the stage until like 2 a.m. They didn't go on the stage at Woodstock till like 5. Isn't that
Is
wild?
the next day.
Isn't that wild?
No. You
Um,
wouldn't catch me dead at a concert at 5 in the morning.
No. But don't some of those like raves and some of them like EDM festivals, they'd be doing that. They'd be like
Maybe
playing
and
all
that's
through
why the
night.
hell I ain't there.
Wouldn't, couldn't, shouldn't.
Wouldn't, couldn't, shouldn't, haven't, and won't.
But
Source, me.
not to yuck your yum, but that's not our yum.
No.
We will not be at it. You will not catch us at an EDM festival.
Mm-mm.
I digress. But they really started to soar in popularity with the release of the albums Tommy and obviously Who's Next and Who Are You. Tommy is often credited as the first rock opera of albums.
Tommy Capobianco?
Yes, that's the one. And would go on to influence folks like Brendan Urie and Panic at the Disco to make Viva Las Vengeance. So they, again, quickly became the folks that others were judged against. They had a lot of, like, tragedy, though. Like, Keith Moon died. They got
his
arrested.
grave says Keith Moon.
Huh?
At least his grave says Keith Moon.
That is his name.
Pretty cool name.
They got arrested in Canada. They had the first Astroworld incident trampling.
Oh. I'm surprised that didn't. I guess maybe people just weren't as aggressive back then.
No,
But that didn't happen more
Excuse me?
often back then when there were fewer rules.
yes, and people mistook a sound check for the actual show, and then started to like
Oh, like Ron?
bombard the doors. Yes,
Oh.
and so created a tragedy. But also the band members notoriously didn't really get along. Pete Townsend
It's
was
just like
kind
our
of
podcast.
yes. We just do it for the camera.
Yeah, yeah.
Pete Townsend was often credited as like the major creative force, and so he would accuse Roger Daltrey, who's the main vocalist, of basically just doing this for money, and Roger Daltrey would throw back at Pete Townsend and say like, "Oh, you're up your own ass," type thing, creative wise, like you're trying to bite off more than you can chew.
It's like probably all of the above is true, you know?
Probably. And John Entwistle was like so Switzerland and so like uninvolved. He just like couldn't be
Lame.
bothered. And then Keith Moon would basically stated like they weren't homies, but they played good music together, kept it together. But when Keith Moon passed, we get a fellow by the name of Kenny Jones joining the group on drums. And I believe he did for a couple albums, just maybe 2 or 3. But Phil Collins wanted the spot, actually, because there was a lull in Genesis, and I think this was after like his first divorce, and he wanted the spot, but they had already auditioned Kenny, and so they went
Tough.
with Kenny Jones, which that would have been quite the trajectory for Phil as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he would have never done a lot of that solo stuff. We might never have gotten In the Air Tonight and
Yeah.
some other bangers. We might
Certified
never
Hood Classic.
never have gotten the Tarzan soundtrack.
Oh my god, so true.
Who knows? The
Sorry, y'all,
hoodoo.
I'm trying to hold this, but it's making my hand go numb. Not because of the
So-
heaviness, just because like I'm like holding my hand up and like all the blood is rushing out. I feel like I look so awkward.
But so for today's episode, we catch them again right before their first breakup and their first farewell tour in 1982, because It's Hard comes out in September of that year, and they do the farewell tour to follow that. And their push was, to kind of be more like a studio act, to do the whole Steely Dan thing and just like stay in the studio. And Pete Townsend had his ideas to do some solo work. And of course, Roger Daltrey would get mad at him. He'd be like, "You're saving all your best stuff for the solo work instead of the band stuff." The girls were fighting. It was
Yes,
It was
so
crazy.
Sounds like everybody needs to take some pampering and chill out. Not everything is about you.
No, and there's a lot on the Who, considering their influence. But that's just kind of where we are for today's episode. But in terms of the legacy, I mean, they were pioneers of large PA systems for really, really big live shows, utilizing synths in rock music. The famous like Marshall stack, putting a bunch of Marshall amplifiers on top of one another and creating like just massive sound. They do have the Guinness World Record for loudest concert ever.
Oh Lord.
So they
No thanks.
yeah.
Too much for me.
So much so they were so loud often that Pete Townsend is pretty much deaf now.
Deef?
Deaf.
He's deef.
He has the best hearing aids and
Yeah, he's assisted deef.
yes. But they got a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Grammys. They're in the Rock Hall. Some would consider them the world's greatest rock band. So many influenced by them: Eddie Vedder, Brendan Urie. The list goes on and on there. And obviously they still go today, but not for too much longer.
Mm-hmm.
And the of the core 4, only 2 are still alive anyway.
Oh, I have to adjust myself. I feel too awkward. We're going to invite Jorge onto the set here.
There we go. Shouts out Jorge. But the album It's Hard again came out in September of 82. I have a copy of It's Hard that's in pretty impeccable condition. It's an OG. I actually got this from Mystery Train Records in Amherst, Massachusetts while I was on my internship.
Oh.
Good record day. I'd found that and a copy of Some Girls, Rolling Stones. It was quite the good record
So
day.
British.
But it's their 10th album in their discography. It's the final to have John Entwistle on bass. The cover contains a kid playing an Atari, which is pretty cool. And it's kind of like a play on to the band's, for the album Tommy, they wrote a song called Pinball Wizard. You familiar with Pinball
I know that one,
Wizard?
yes.
They wrote it because there was a guy at the New York Times who was a big pinball enthusiast, and they were like, if we release and write this song, maybe he'll give us a better review.
That is drama queen energy.
Yes.
Like, I have this one person that I'm going to write a whole ass song to try to get their attention.
Yes.
That is drama queen energy.
But, I mean, fun little fact there, in
It's
case
fun.
you didn't know. But the Atari on the cover of It's Hard is kind of like a 80s update to the pinball, which is kind of fun for them. But Roger Daltrey famously thought that the record should have never been released. They were under pressure from the label to put something out, and so they just did it anyway. It's this album and another called Face Dances that the band were kind of unsure of the material, but put it out anyway. And that's tough. When the art is rushed, it's not fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's like when we have to record on a Sunday,
Yeah, the art is rushed.
The art is rushed.
But, I mean, others have, very much stuck it to the label in the past in terms of, being fought that pressure. Like, the band Boston's a great example. Mastermind Tom Schultz was, very, very particular about, give me my time to do my thing. And so I guess others aren't as fortunate or not as, willing to push back, per se. So,
Yeah.
different factors at stake. But the album received incredibly mixed reviews. So much so, Rolling Stone gave it 5 stars, but some publication called Music Hound gave it 1. Rough. So, literally all over the spectrum of ratings. But, it was still certified gold. It's got some bangers on it. And the thing is if you're sitting there thinking, oh, It's Hard is, forgettable with the exception of, Athena and Eminence Front. That's some other band's, best album.
Very true.
Very
true.
And so it's funny to consider that.
Yeah.
If it was something that they weren't the biggest fans of themselves, but I don't know. It still was a gold record, So you can't get too upset or too dramatic about the situation. Pete Townsend notably had a bout of depression during this time. He thought his creative genius had kind of subsided, especially in the pitfalls or in the aftermath of some of their other most successful work, Quadrophenia, Tommy, Who's Next, Who Are You, all those classic albums. Which, by the way, the Who have I want to say 5 or 6 on that top 500 greatest albums of all time.
That's so true.
Which is incredibly remarkable.
That's a crazy batting average.
Yes, quite. 6 for 500. Whoa. Most bands be lucky to have 1 on there, or
Yeah.
most artists, but freaking half your discography's on it, which is pretty remarkable. But yes, it did produce 3 singles, Athena, obviously Eminence Front, and the title track, It's Hard. So let's talk about Eminence Front. How do you feel about Eminence Front?
I like it. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Hear it on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a good vibe.
Yeah?
I like the twinkly sound. It kind of sounds a little twinkly. Also, I'd like to acknowledge, I think my stomach has been growling so loud that you might be able to hear it.
I don't think I've heard it once.
Okay, that was part of the reason I got Jorge, so... Y'all, if you hear at home my stomach growling, it's just because I didn't eat lunch.
Either way, fun little detail.
Yeah.
Fun little...
Shout it out if you hear my stomach growl.
Fun little get you know. Gotta be looking for it.
I'm hungry to hear more about Eminence Front.
Yes, exactly. The first notable thing about Eminence Front, other than it's instantly recognizable, I mean, you get the drum machine drum track, and then what Emma calls the the twinkling,
It's the twinkly
the
part.
sequenced synthesizer. The vocals do not come in basically until the 2-minute mark of its 5.5-minute runtime. Could you imagine something like that today?
You think it
Vocals are
was an
coming until the-
instrumental?
Well, I mean, most bands at the time, and I'd reckon probably some today, like songs come out of like jams. So this could have
Yeah.
easily been a, let me start the.
And it was just more structured. Like songs had intros, and now a lot of songs just start.
Yes, it builds, and that's something that's very remarkable about it. The other musically notable thing about it, amongst several other things, but the bass is the driver of the melody or the chord changes, because the melody remains pretty much constant throughout the song. So that's consistent, but the bass is the reason for the chord changes, which to me that always feels like there's more of like a mystique to the song. Because
You're
if like
always listening in on that bass.
yes, because if the bass is
All about that
driving
bass.
the chord changes, it's almost like I don't know. It's literally about an Eminence Front. It's like the melody on top is almost the facade or the front, where the bass is the one actually driving the chord changes, which is something you probably never thought about before, or maybe you have.
Don't doubt our viewers.
I'm just saying, or maybe you have. It's a permanent fixture in my hype up songs. If I'm about to go into an interview, I'm putting on Eminence Front.
Oh, okay.
It's probably in a lot of car commercials, a lot of starting lineup announcements.
Yes, definitely.
Along with APP, Alan
Well-
Parsons Project.
Well, that's reserved for one starting lineup. I don't like it. Unless it's like a minor. I think it's okay if you're like a minor league of whatever your sport is team. I think that you can come out to that song. But like that means like you are doing it because it's the Michael Jordan song.
Yes.
If you're another basketball team, I think that's wrong.
Yeah, I think that's on the do not playlist.
Yeah, it's hanging in the rafters.
Yeah.
And Disturbed burned it in Chicago. It's hanging in the rafters.
But yes, definitely a hype up song.
What are your other hype up songs? Let us know.
Power Glide, Bray Shremmerd.
Sliding in the lamb with the power glide. Slime green paint, peanut butter inside.
Shot of Flow 7.
Yeah, I was missing the action like Christian too.
A couple others, but no, this is definitely a permanent fixture on the hype ups. The thing that I think adds to the space of this song as well, there's a lot of reverb on the drums too, make it sound a little more boom, and you see those tweets. It's like, what's like one part of a song that just like is your favorite, or like just makes you like ooh, like transcend, The little breakdown with the drums into the chord changes, the da 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 da. That's got to be like one of my favorite parts of any song ever. Like it's
Nice.
It's very clean. It stands apart from the rest of the melody. It kind of, dare I say, gives it a little funk.
I do feel like
little,
it's a
little
little
jazzy.
funky, yeah.
A little too late for funk and jazz, and a little bit of disco if we're in the early 80s, but like it still works very well for this song. It's like the ghost of funk past almost, but it's definitely a part to listen to on this song. Subject matter about rich people hiding behind a front, aka an Eminence Front. Specifically, Pete Townsend was thinking, and is quoted, "I hesitate to try to explain what it was about. It's clearly about the absurdity of drug-fueled grandiosity. But whether I was pointing the finger at myself or the cocaine dealers of Miami Beach is hard to recall."
Ooh.
And even the cover art for the single is like some Art Deco Miami South Beach house, which is pretty cool. But yeah, definitely rich people hiding behind drugs and alcohol and drinks and whatnot. They're true stressors and
Yeah, and
problems.
yeah, and bathrooms they could play baseball in and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nickelback.
Yeah.
Yes.
In a bathroom I can play baseball in.
But so fun little facade that the subject matter covers, but I also think that the music supports so well. If the melody is just the same thing over and over again, but the real musicality of the song is what's underneath, aka your Eminence Front. So I love the song. It's great. A little ode to the Who's OG farewell tour. We hope they have a great time out on the road in the fall.
Yeah, y'all have fun. Destroy some hotel rooms.
Might be a little old for that. You think hotels now are like, I don't know. We got Roger Daltrey.
I mean, it's
I
like,
don't know.
you know that they're going to pay for it.
That's true. Well,
So I
you know
guess
they got the money
How
at
much
least.
does it really matter?
I don't know. You can make it a bunch of, I don't know. It's one thing to use the hotel room in normal use, but, somebody's got to clean it up. Poor people have to clean it up.
Maybe they leave a good tip.
Perhaps. We would hope. We would think.
Don't be tipping the hotel staff though. It's a bellhop. Leaving money for the cleaning ladies. No.
Now it's time for the segment portion of today's show. Kicking us off as always is Emma's Everyday Jam, the song that Emma's been regularly bumping along to in the past week. What you got?
Well, as we talked about earlier, I released my Pop Rocks Power Hour. So I will pick a song from the Pop Rocks Power Hour. Banger, absolute banger, heavy hitter. One of the greatest pop rock songs of all time.
Whoa.
Bright Lights by Matchbox 20. So good. So good. I was worried about several Matchbox 20 songs got copyrighted and I had to take them out, but this was not one of them. So I'll pick Bright Lights.
Baby, when all your love is gone, who will save me from all I'm up against out in this world? And maybe you'll find something that's enough to keep you. But if the bright lights don't receive you, you should turn yourself around and come on home.
Good shout. Good shout. And now it's time for our major minor chords, the segment of the show in which we discuss our respective highs and lows for the week. What say you?
I would say my minor is making me yawn. My minor is I'm just a little tired, I guess. Not too many bad things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little tired. But I'm doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
Major. It looks pretty nice outside today, and Mike told me when I started working this morning that he would take me out of the house tonight. So I'm excited to go and leave our home and go outside.
Ooh. I just have like a tickle in my throat that just is persistent for the past couple of days. It's like just barely noticeable. Oh, it's noticeable. Not barely. It's noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's tough.
I think we
but-
both have a little twinge or something, but it's yours is a little stronger of a twinge.
Perhaps. Maybe a twinge.
Twinge.
Major awesome time on my first ever cruise. It's pretty fun.
Sick.
Little herding cats. There was 14, 20 somethings.
14 dudes, man.
It's
a lot of dudes on a boat.
So little bit of herding cats, but in the best way. It was fun. And also bringing me great joy. The Rockies did a Ryan Day.
We're obsessed with Ryan Day.
So
Not
it's the,
Ryan Day, Ohio State head coach, but Ryan Knight.
Yes, it was the largest ever recorded name meetup ever. So the Rockies baseball organization are horrifically atrocious this season, but they had a Ryan night. If your name was Ryan, you got into the game for free.
Because they have 3 players named Ryan on the team.
Yes. And
Like 3 starters on the team named Ryan.
Yes. And they had, over 700 Ryans show
700 Ryans.
up. That's hilarious.
And that's probably the most attended game they've had all season.
Yes.
And they
guess
lost.
what? They still lost.
But I posted a bunch of stuff about it this morning. I was loving all the Ryan Day content.
But quite funny. There was a Ryan conga line.
Mm-hmm. They were going, "Let's go, Ryan."
They all had stickers that said, "Hello, my name is Ryan." Yeah, there's at least 700 Ryans in the Denver metro area.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, what's the farthest somebody traveled for Ryan Day?
Yeah. Well, where's the dedication?
And when did they announce Ryan Day?
Exactly. And how wide-reaching did they announce Ryan Day?
Mm-hmm.
Food for thought. Either way, definitely a major. It's hilarious. And now it's time for the honorable mentions, the songs that almost made the cut or similar rhyme or reason to today's episode.
Ryan or reason?
That was good. Hard to talk about the Who and not talk about Teenage Wasteland, Bob O'Reilly. So that's your first one.
Teenage wasteland. It's only teenage wasteland. Teenage wasteland. Oh yeah.
I mean, how many bands have covered Bob O'Reilly too? And how many bands
And
have straight
stolen.
up ripped off Bob O'Reilly? Next up, something a banger from Pete Townshend's solo career. Let My Love Open the Door. I think it's a great little ditty.
Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door to your heart. Open the door.
And we'll give a little last shout to Dierks and his new release. And shouts out your mom for sending it to us as well.
Nice, Mom. Great job.
Funny Dierks.
We love funny Dierks.
It's a good play on of words, and it's Funny Dierks. So She Hates Me by Dierks Bentley is a good one.
Thought one day we'd be on some acres raising babies. She should be falling, only problem is she hates me.
That's going to do it for us this week, folks.
Let us know how you feel about the couch. I have mixed opinions so far.
Send your AC our way, please.
Yeah.
And either a fan, that'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
But we appreciate
Fans from our fans.
Yes, we appreciate the follow, comment, subscribe, listen.
So does Jorge.
All that good stuff, and we will see you. Is July 1st the next episode? Is it a Monday?
I think it is. I think also if you want to announce it now.
No, it's June 30th. So we'll still see you in June next week.
Yes, and I think that the week after that will be our last episode of the season.
Yes, so season 2 is coming to a close, which is exciting. Another season in the books. But
then we'll go on our summer break while we're in England.
Yes. So
Our 2 or 3 week summer break.
Yes. So woohoo! But just to put that on your horizon.
So start stockpiling episodes to rewatch now. I know you're all going to be really.
Or go back and watch your favorite one.
That's what I'm saying.
Go back and watch the 21 Pilots one.
Dude, everybody loved that one.
We shall see you next week.
Bye.